Welcome to our channel. Today we share an incredible story of a brave man and a desperate mother lioness seeking help. Mark, a dedicated wildlife ranger, was on his routine morning patrol across the vast, sunlit African savanna, looking for any trouble. The golden grass swayed gently in the wind, but a sudden, unnatural rustling sound caught his experienced and highly trained attention. He stopped his vehicle, stepping out cautiously into the wild landscape, his eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of danger. Hidden beneath a thorny bush, he discovered a massive lioness, her powerful body trembling, caught completely in a cruel steel trap. Normally, a wild predator would roar with fierce aggression, but this beautiful creature only let out a soft, heartbreaking, exhausted whimper. Her front paw was tightly gripped by the rusty metal teeth, bleeding slowly into the dry earth under the scorching sun. Mark slowly approached the dangerous animal, his heart pounding heavily, knowing one wrong move could easily cost him his entire life. He expected her to strike, but when their eyes finally met, he saw no anger, only a profound, desperate, silent plea. The majestic queen of the savannah was begging for mercy, trusting this strange human to end her unbearable, agonizing physical pain. Speaking in a calm, soothing tone, Mark slowly reached into his heavy medical bag to find the right tools for rescue.
Right,
He carefully slid a heavy protective blanket over her sharp claws, ensuring both of them would remain safe during the procedure.
Vitals are stable.
With a strong, determined push, he
5 minutes.
managed to pry the heavy steel jaws open, finally releasing her badly injured, bleeding paw. The lioness let out a deep sigh of relief, while resting her heavy head on the dusty ground, completely exhausted and weak. Mark quickly applied thick antiseptic ointment and wrapped a clean white bandage tightly around her deep wound to prevent any infection. He poured fresh, cool water from his canteen into a small bowl, sliding it gently toward the thirsty, tired wildcat. She drank eagerly, the cool liquid restoring a tiny bit of strength to her massive, powerful, but deeply battered feline body. Mark stepped back, expecting the wild predator to run away into the thick bushes, returning to her natural, solitary hunting life. Instead of leaving, the lioness stood up slowly, looked directly into his eyes, and took a few deliberate steps forward alone. She paused, turning her large head back toward him, clearly waiting, as if asking the confused ranger to follow her path. Intrigued and slightly nervous, Mark grabbed his heavy rifle for protection and began following the limping lioness deep into the wilderness. They walked together through thick, thorny acacia bushes, crossing dry riverbeds under the intensely hot, unforgiving afternoon African sun without stopping. The journey was slow and difficult for the injured mother, but her strong determination pushed her forward despite the terrible pain. Mark wondered what could possibly compel a wild animal to lead a human so far away from his safe, familiar territory. After an hour of exhausting trekking, the landscape changed entirely, revealing a rocky, steep hillside hidden behind incredibly dense green foliage. The lioness stopped near a dark, narrow cave entrance, letting out a low, rumbling call that echoed softly against the stones. Suddenly, the terrifying sound of cackling laughter filled the air, sending a cold shiver straight down the brave ranger's sweating spine. A large pack of hungry, aggressive hyenas had surrounded the rocky den, their sharp teeth bared, ready to launch an attack. They were trying to reach something precious, hidden inside the dark cave, completely ignoring the injured mother who stood her ground. Mark quickly realized the heartbreaking truth behind the mother's plea. Her tiny, helpless cubs were trapped inside that dark, dangerous cave. She had sought out human help not just for her own painful injury, but to save her precious, vulnerable little babies. Without a single moment of hesitation, Mark raised his heavy rifle and fired a loud warning shot high into the air. The deafening crack echoed loudly across the rocky valley, instantly startling the cowardly pack of scavengers away from the cave entrance. The hyenas scattered in absolute panic, disappearing quickly into the tall, dry grass, leaving the rocky den completely safe and quiet. Whilst the mother lioness limped quickly toward the dark entrance, her soft purrs calling out gently to her frightened, hidden little children. Slowly, 3 tiny, spotted lion cubs emerged from the deep shadows, running happily toward their brave, loving, and deeply exhausted mother. They rubbed their small heads against her soft fur, completely unaware of the terrible danger they had just managed to escape. Mark watched the beautiful reunion with tears forming in his eyes, deeply moved by the incredible power of a mother's love. He noticed the tiny cubs looked extremely thin and dehydrated, clearly suffering from days without proper food or clean, fresh water. The mother's severe injury had prevented her from hunting, leaving her precious little family slowly starving in the harsh, unforgiving wilderness. Mark quickly opened his large backpack, pulling out several cans of emergency meat rations and his remaining bottles of fresh water. He carefully placed the food and water near the cave entrance, stepping back slowly to give the wild family enough space. The hungry cubs eagerly rushed toward the delicious food, devouring the meat, while their watchful mother drank the cool, refreshing water. Seeing them eat brought a huge smile to Mark's tired face, knowing he had just saved an entire family of lions. The mother lioness finished drinking and walked slowly toward Mark, stopping just a few feet away from the brave, kind ranger. She looked deeply into his eyes once more, her intense gaze filled with an unmistakable, profound sense of gratitude and respect. In a breathtaking moment, she gently bowed her massive head, softly acknowledging the incredible kindness of the human who saved them. Mark nodded back slowly, whispering soft words of encouragement to the majestic queen, feeling an unbreakable bond form between two species. He knew it was finally time to leave them alone, not allowing the wild family to rest and recover in absolute peace. Packing his empty bags, he took one last long look at the beautiful lioness and her playful cubs resting safely together.
Don't be afraid.
The golden sunset painted the African sky in vibrant shades of orange and purple, creating a perfectly magical, breathtaking, cinematic background. As he walked back toward his distant vehicle, Mark felt a profound sense of purpose and joy filling his entire heart. This incredible encounter proved that compassion truly knows no boundaries, bridging the massive gap between wild predators and caring human beings. The story of the grateful lioness would forever remain etched in his memory as the most extraordinary day of his life. Nature can be incredibly cruel and unforgiving, but acts of pure kindness can create miraculous, beautiful moments
This incredible
that change
encounter
everything
proved
forever.
that compassion
We must
truly
always
knows
remember
no
to
boundaries,
protect and
bridging
respect
the
these
massive gap
magnificent
between
creatures,
species.
ensuring they continue to thrive in their beautiful natural habitats. Thank you so much for watching this incredible journey of survival, trust, and the unbreakable,
Nature
beautiful
can be
bond
incredibly
between man
cruel,
and beast.
but acts
If this
of pure
heartwarming
kindness
story
can
touched your
create
soul,
miraculous,
please take a
beautiful
brief moment
moments
to
forever.
like, share, and subscribe
We
to
must
our wonderful
always
channel.
remember to protect
Join our
and
growing
respect
community
these
to discover
magnificent
more
creatures in
amazing
their
wildlife
habitats.
rescue stories and incredible animal encounters from all around the
Thank you
beautiful
so
world.
much for
Goodbye
watching
for
this
now, and
incredible
always remember
journey
to
of
stay kind.
survival.
Visit
and trust.
https://www.youtube.com
If this heartwarming story touched your soul, please subscribe.
for more amazing wildlife
Join our
stories.
growing
We will see
community
you
to
next
discover
time.
more amazing wildlife rescue stories and incredible animal encounters.
Goodbye, and see you next time.